We're Bruce Mitchell back, Pro Wrestling Torch. Also, a lot of other areas being covered with Bruce. But first of all, welcome back in. And first of all, too, I understand you're retiring from teaching here pretty soon.
I am. So we'll see how all that goes. I'm not retiring from working, so but we'll. But yeah, I spent 27 years in Title I schools, and I got, got the full package. So I'm really happy about it. I'm proud of all that. And seeing old friends that I worked with and all that, it's really an emotional time.
Gonna start a new chapter in your life, I guess, if that somebody from education.
I guess so, yeah.
A lot of good days at Archer Elementary, though, right?
Absolutely.
And Irwin before that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't even know Irwin if you've been by there lately these days.
Yeah, I know. They had their time, so.
Yeah, they're trying to rebuild it, I guess, eventually after the storm. If they're going to bring it back, I doubt they'll bring it back now. If they got that new $2 billion deal for the county, I doubt they would go in and maybe.
Some big plans for the whole county, so I wonder about that too. But it'll always be there to me.
So how about you recently? Let me give you a name here first of all. This has been, I think, in my head a lot in recent weeks, and probably in the past week, even more so, the past few days. Marty Scurll.
Marty Scurll, yeah. Marty Scurll's showing up for NWA to challenge Nick Aldis, challenge his friends Nick Aldis. I saw them have a match and for the NWA title in Concord, North Carolina, about a year ago, I guess it's been, and it was a hell of a match. They're friends and they can really go. I don't expect that Marty Scurll is permanently with.
Just a layover there, kind of a layover.
But yeah, out of Ring of Honor, you would think, and it's always been expected that he'd end up in AEW, but we'll see. But Marty Scurll is quite, Marty Scurll is quite the wrestler and has the umbrella and the gimmick, and he fits
He's
in
trademarked
a lot of
Villain
places.
Enterprises too, hadn't he? Did he trademark that, Villain Enterprises?
Yeah.
So that's his to use.
Yes.
And I think he was with the Ring of Honor on Friday, went to NWA on Saturday, back to Ring of Honor on Sunday. So he kind of put his last days on Ring of Honor and closed out favorably well there, I guess. But he always wanted to be the champion. Was that really true? I mean, he talks about that a lot. Was that something that maybe actually worked a little bit to his disadvantage when Ring of Honor wouldn't make him the champion?
Yeah, I mean, it was. You wonder about the communication. I don't know exactly how it all laid out, but in Madison Square Garden, he went up, in that big show. He was going for the Ring of Honor Championship, and didn't win. And the expectation was, well, he didn't win because they didn't think they would have him long enough to put some plans to. And it turned out they had him another 9 months, which would have given them time to have a more popular wrestler as their
especially right after all the elite guys had left. It would have been perfect for them to put Marty. They kind of put him out front with his little faction, his little group, but not enough, I don't think, either.
Right. They just kind of and now with PCO as the champion, part of that group. I mean, that group never really coalesced. I know I was really excited to see the three of them. I thought that would be what Ring of Honor would, as you said, coalesce around, and it didn't seem to work out that way. No one was really a big fan of PCO's match to win the title, but but I'm a fan.
His match with Marty, I thought, was a very good one, though.
Yeah,
because the interference of Brody King, interference also from Flip Gordon, those guys interfered, and then in the end they all shook hands again. I thought it was a great win for PCO.
Yeah, it was an interesting type of match, and he's such an interesting guy. I mean, 52 years old, already had his career. And then recreated his gimmick, and very much in that old style of big man. It's hard to beat.
Big monster. Kind of like Abyss some ways. Kind of like
I think he's
Cactus
better than
Jack Man kind of bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as far as like wrestling goes, he's better than the two of them. And in many ways, every bit the Cactus Jack character. So I'm a fan. I like him.
What about Marty? You think Marty Scurll is going to be just laying around there for a while with NWA, then going straight to AEW? Is that the next move in your predictions?
You would think, and that's what I would bet on, but you don't know. And then WWE is out there. It's a wrestling war. I mean, WWE is out there trying to get as many of these, of the talent that they can. You don't think that they have a lot of smaller talent that they don't use very well. They kind of put on a shelf, or they put on 205, and but I would never count them out for any of this kind of thing.
What about with Brody King? What about with PCO? Do you see them leaving too?
I don't see PCO. My understanding is PCO
goes to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, got a good contract to stay with Ring of Honor, and particularly at his age,
Well, he would fit perfectly in NWA because they brought back the Rockford Express. They brought back the Kid Cole. Bringing those guys back, yeah.
Well, I mean, there is that, but it's like the money part and all that. Like the NWA is being and smartly being careful as how they expand.
They're pulling some good strings right now, though.
Yeah, they seem to be. It's all going to be about getting that, getting that I want to say television show, that Facebook show. And it's a television show.
Got to get that pay-per-view buy up too. Got to get that going good.
Getting that going good. So, but I have to say, the people that I know that are fans of the NWA are really dedicated to it.
One of your guys, the Torch, one of your Torch writers, kind of lambasted them after the show back on Monday or Tuesday. That's Tuesday's show. He said not a good show. So it was out of order, out of sorts. Wasn't a very good show. It said too much going on at one time, which I kind of like that. There was so much happening. It was kind of fun keeping up with it. It made the hour go by fast. He said too much going on at one time.
Yeah, I haven't watched the show, but I'm more with him. I think when you got the hour studio show, particularly you're establishing a new criteria of talent that you need to take your time sometimes. And sometimes I think there's a little more that should be on that show. But I like it, and I very much like excuse me, Andy, how they do the promos. They give the guys the bullet points and they go out and they do it. And I've enjoyed the question mark being
Who is question mark? Go ahead and tell us right now. That's been bugging a lot of people. Who is the question mark?
Well, not a lot of people know this, but Rocky Johnson had. There was Ricky Johnson and Rocky Johnson. Well, Rocky Johnson had another son besides Dwayne Johnson,
yeah.
And I don't want to give it all away.
Well, you think it might be part of the Johnson family there?
Yeah. I think there's a brother out there.
Has he been around it all over the years? Just kind of been waiting back in the wings somewhere?
I think he's been. I think that he's been looking for his chance to pull his spot, and
I think he's found
with his brother doing all these movies, and it's perfect time for him.
His name is Ricky Johnson then.
No, Ricky Johnson is Rocky Johnson's brother.
That's Rocky's brother Ricky, who's got a son.
There's Dwayne Johnson, and his son is Dick. I mean, not his son. There's Dwayne Johnson and his brother's Dick Johnson.
So is it Dwayne's brother or is it Ricky's son? Who is it then? You think?
No, it's Dwayne's brother.
Rocky's other son.
And Rocky's other son, and he kind of kept it quiet.
Boy, it's looked pretty sharp too, the way he done it so far.
Yeah.
I thought it was a guy who used to be with the NWA. Who was the crazy guy that came out the first part of the shows? I think of the guy's name later.
A lot of people. They
kind of the beard hadn't been on TV much lately.
Yeah, they kind of want you. Yeah, I know who you mean.
One time I thought it might have been James Storm, but James Storm was actually part of the same show that same night, which you can be and go back and change. But I don't think it's James Storm. Like you say, it could be this Ricky Johnson guy.
Well, I mean, it could be.
It's pretty interesting.
Not Ricky Johnson. Ricky Johnson is the uncle.
That's the uncle. Could be Dwayne Johnson's brother.
Dwayne's brother Dick. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. How old is this guy? Any idea?
Younger than Dwayne.
Yeah. He's been a wrestler somewhere, but not really part of the mainstream operation.
They kept him under wraps. They weren't sure he was going to do this, and so it's kind of like having ace in the hole.
That is a great one too. Dick Johnson, Rocky Johnson's other son, Dwayne Johnson's brother.
Rocky Johnson has a new book out too. So
Rocky does. Rocky Johnson's making kind of research
right now.
too, huh?
Yeah.
Good time for it too. The way his oldest son is doing so well. Get his name out there more.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do much better than the Rock's doing.
What about back to the NWA and the shows, things like that? Do you see these guys carrying on and doing well now they've got this good start? So they have a very good start.
Yeah, they do. They do have a very good start. They need to work on ways to build up those numbers, like the number of people that are watching every week. Just getting more people to watch, and then establishing. I think they've done a good job with Aldous. And they've done a good job with. I think of her name, but
Camille.
Camille.
Because Camille's from Durham High School, right?
She's from Durham. She's from Northern High School.
Yeah, right there in Durham. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm friends with her dad. I have some connections.
And you hadn't seen this week's show, right?
No, I've not.
That was a great angle. In the show, she comes out, acts like she's going to get up in the face of Tim Storm and just get on him, or actually going to come out and
heard the angle.
Going to get in the face of Aldous. Yeah. Aldous, what are you doing with Tim? What are you beating up Tim Storm? What are you doing here? And she's trying to support Tim Storm. And she turns on Tim Storm and just kicks him right in the groin, kicks him in the head, and sides with that little faction. They've got that faction going down.
And then Bram and Lattimore. Yeah.
Lattimore, those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's She's close to Bram, so yeah.
Yeah, very close, because she was close on TV that night. They got involved in some attractions.
Right.
And it's good, not bad stuff the way they're doing it right now. Got to give those guys credit.
No, it's set up, and I think Aldous has done an excellent job of playing that type of champion, the cheater, but the guy who his whole life is being the NWA.
If you got a pay-per-view match between Aldous and Marty Scurll, that would be a great main eventer.
Yeah, it would be. Well, I expect we'll see it.
And Stu Bennett / Wade Barrett in the commentary now.
Yeah, so they need somebody to take Cornette's place, and that's a good choice in the sense of smart guy and different.
Very distinctive, yeah. Because he was on the English wrestling show they had on Sinclair for a few weeks. They had he and SoCal Val. They had all the guys wrestling in England. He was on that, doing that work. What about Colt Cabana? Because Colt was with Ring of Honor one night, NWA the next night, and then with AEW the third night. He was on all three this week.
You know, I knew this was AEW, that he did some commentary on the,
on
the Dark Show. And, he's a guy, he's a grassroots guy. I saw him in Baltimore, and he can do so many different things. I like Colt Cabana, and I'm not surprised that somebody there's not a good feeling with him in WWE, and even with his former friend CM Punk sort of being back in WWE. I don't expect him to go back there, but I expect him to work in different ways. And then also he had a guest spot a year or so ago on Chicago PD.
It was his kind of a resurgence of his wrestling career now too, because he was doing a lot of commentary, but now back in the ring quite a bit also.
Right. So he's in good shape. He's a smart guy and hustles. He's like you. I mean, he hustles for everything he gets. And I mean that in the best sense. He works hard for it.
Well, let's hustle out and come back. Let's take a break. Come back with Bruce Mitchell, Pro Wrestling Torch on GreensboroSports.com right after this.